what are the top 3 drills that people are missing from their everyday training platform?
Dang, the top 3 drills. You might make me go to my notes on this one. Um, no, just because I train often, but I switch up my personal training based on where I'm lacking. But I'd say for the average person, they're going to get the most out of a drill I call the 5x5. This came from one of my coaches, Mason Lane. He works for 6R, but this is not his drill. It's just something that gets passed down through time. But 5x5 is essentially 5 shots at the 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 yard line. So you can do this indoors, outdoors, etc. So everybody should have access to a 25-yard range. And it's just 5 rounds at each one of those distances. So it's 25 shots. And it's really going to check your recoil control, making sure that you can be target focused, because especially in a self-defense shooting, you're just going to naturally focus on that target, pressing the trigger properly, being able to return the sights in a consistent manner. And it really just goes into all of the fundamentals over and over. Second drill, I'm going to say probably a build drill. I know it's big in the competitive space and it's starting to kind of trickle into the cool guy shooters, but the build drill is just 6-round string of fire. The standard is you want to be able to get off 6 shots in under 2 seconds from the draw. So it really pushes your speed. It really pushes your sight acceptance, or, what do you need to see to actually put hits on target, and not just on target, but in the dead center of that target. And trying to keep a tight group at speed. Because if I need to get rounds on a target, I need to get them there right now before their rounds make it this way. And number 3, I would say strong hand and weak hand, or right and left hand. We shouldn't have a weak hand per my coaches, but a strong and weak hand shooting. So shooting one-handed with the right and one-handed with the left, understanding that if you're a person like me, I have a 5-year-old child who is a little rugrat. So if bullets or things start to go awry, I might have to catch her with one hand and possibly defend her with the other. So just making sure we're good to go with both hands.
I love what you're talking about on that last drill specifically, of understanding what situations you might be in when it comes to defending your family. Is something that I often think about. I have 2 little people. One is very mobile, one is not quite yet. And so, there's often like situations where I'm thinking, and how am I going to manage 2 kiddos and be able to defend us all safely, securely? Because as a parent, you want to be 100% in control of the situation. God forbid something happen. I love what you're talking about on training that weaker hand. And I agree with you. I think that understanding those situations and preparing for those situations, even though it would absolutely be a parent's worst nightmare, knowing you can defend your family is so valuable.
Oh yeah. I do it. I try to do it weekly if possible, just to keep it sharp. Cause I just like you, God forbid I go to the Target or to the mall and, oh crap, I haven't shot one-handed in 3 weeks. And now this dude decides to come in the mall and act a butt.
Yeah. Other drills. So you brought up your 3 drills. I want to bring up my 3 drills because I can. The build drill is one of my favorites because it's under time. You don't know stress until you're on a timer. That's one thing. And that's the only thing that can really prepare you for self-defense situations, that being under the time and the stress. Mozambique is one of my favorites. And then also to tie in with Mozambique is the body armor drill. And if you don't know what the body armor drill is, it's 2 chests, 1 to the head, 2 chests, 1 to the legs, because you don't know. And then the other one, it's a drill I worked on. I went to an event with CCW Safe. They call it the box drill. It's under time. It's 3 shots in a small rectangle, then 2 shots in a smaller rectangle, and then 1 shot in this like 1-inch rectangle under time. And that is, you think you're good until you start doing that under time and stress, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And I got made fun of by Julie Gold, which is funny because she's a competitive shooter, but she's really good. But no, and that's the thing. And that's the one thing I kind of want to bring up too, the community aspect of training and taking a class, and the people that you meet at these classes, sometimes you become lifelong friends with them. The classes that I've taken with Fred Masterson from Force Options, he's been really great. He's a longtime friend now. So just learning that and going into those drills and talking to people, and then you just try to get better, and then you meet up. And that's the whole point about being in this firearms community, is build a community. So take what you learn from these classes, make friends, and then try to go compete, quote unquote, with each other while on a range day or something like that.
Yeah. That's where it's at, man.
Is there any, and I'll throw this out just because I know a lot of people that get into this training mindset, it's addicting. You want to go and learn from other people, and everybody kind of has their like legends list of, I would like to go and train under XYZ person. But is there any situational driven trainers or facilities that you would recommend to somebody who might only have access to their local guy who runs one concealed carry class a month, maybe? Because so many of our members are in the rural areas where they might not have as many options as those that are living kind of closer into town, so to speak.
Yeah. So you're asking like, where should they, if they decide to travel out to go seek training?
Yes.
Who should they go see? Okay. Well, shameless plug. My friends own AR Tactics in Charlotte. It's one of the only civilian indoor shoot houses in the country, I believe, but definitely on the East Coast. Very popular online because they will take the grandma, the auntie, the law enforcement, the SWAT team, and throw you in this shoot house with a bunch of different scenarios and sim guns, and show you when stuff hits the fan, how you're going to act, how you should react. And give you just some straightforward training. And then I'm very local too, so you can come see me after for some live fire shooting. Down in Texas, there is Gladiator Group. Will runs Gladiator training. He runs some awesome stuff. I believe he was ex-Special Forces, but I don't remember which. And I don't want to throw the wrong name out there and get beat up later. So but go hit up Gladiator training down in Texas. And for any other situational style, I have lots of other local trainers that I could possibly plug here or there. But for sure, those two would be my first two to go.
Yeah, I would go with Fred, because Fred's classes are great. I've taken his vehicle tactics drill or class. So if you haven't taken a vehicle tactics class, definitely do it. It's a whole different ballgame. It's something you never think of. I've taken his pistol classes. I've taken his carbine class. I took his long range class, which I don't recommend taking unless you're ready to be addicted to long range shooting, because that is the most addicting thing. When you watch the projectile fly 1,200 yards and you're sitting there and the time in between shots, yeah, it gets really addicting really quick. Gun sight's always a good place to go to. I've had really good times up at gun sight. Trying to think of who else.
Now, if we're just naming awesome trainers, I got plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
She said situational trainers. So
see, John just wants to talk about his credentials. See, he's like, I told my wife that it was an investment. I need to plug these every chance that I get.
Since you like long range, I'd definitely go see Buck Doyle out in Utah. He runs some awesome classes out there, shooting across the freaking canyon. It's pretty cool. That was my first experience shooting some medium to long range. He won't call it long range, but I'll call it long range.
Long range on the East Coast, at least in Tennessee, and long range on the West Coast, they're not like
they're big differences.
It's wildly
What do you
different.
mean? You guys got what 300-400 yards? You know, we did 1650 out in Idaho.
Yeah,
without even trying.
Yeah,
that's a
different
total
types of terrain.
Yeah.
It is. It's not.
Clinton,
they're not equal.
Clinton House has a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
but it's
50 a mile.
Yeah, you got to travel for those places. They're not as readily available as they are out west.
Very true.
It's because we have flat land.
Yeah, we have mountains.
You have mountains.
Fair enough. I like where I live. I'll stay in good old Tennessee.